Okie dokie guys, so a few months ago I made an order from E.L.F Cosmetics and it just arrived last week and I've been waiting to feel a little better. I've been dealing with a lot of morning sickness that is really all day, every day, 24/7 sickness. So I've been kind of putting this off, but I'm feeling great today. So I'm excited to play around with some new makeup bits. Some of the things that I ordered ended up not showing up. I think it was just, you know, global pandemic is a very valid reason for delayed shipping and not having things in stock, and E.L.F was really good with just applying a refund to my account for the products that didn't show up. So overall, not a super bad customer experience during a pandemic, so way to go E.L.F Cosmetics. The one thing I will say is the products that ended up coming are the products I was most excited to try out anyways. So I mean, it all kind of worked out, you know. I saved a little bit of money and I still got the products I really wanted. So yeah, I'm excited to put some makeup on this face and play around with some new products. And if you guys have been curious about some of E.L.F's new products, yeah, you might enjoy this video. I hope you do. Okay, so I'll quickly just show you the E.L.F products that I'm going to be using today, and then we'll get right into it. So the first two that I'm going to be using are the new E.L.F Putty primers. So I got two of them. I got the Poreless Putty Primer in Universal Sheer and the Matte Putty Primer Universal Sheer. So the Matte Putty Primer is infused with kaolin clay and white charcoal, and the Poreless Putty Primer is infused with Hydrating squalene, which, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure squalene is just a form of coconut oil. I'm gonna Google this and figure it out, but I'm pretty sure that's what squalene is essentially. So when I was originally placing my order, I did place a few like base products into my cart. This is the only one that they were able to ship me. So this is the Hydrating Camo Concealer. It's their in full coverage satin, and the shade is Fair Beige. And then I think the product I'm like ultimately the most excited about is this matte blotting mist. So this is actually the bag it came in. It was missing the cap. I think it just in shipping fell out into the box. Maybe I tossed it by accident, but regardless, this is the E.L.F Plus Matte Blotting Mist, and this has kaolin clay in it, and it's super cute and pink, which I'm a sucker for packaging, let's be real. So this mattifying touch-up spray helps absorb excess oils for a mattified complexion in seconds. Infused with mattifying kaolin clay, this mist lets you blot away oil in an effortless, touchless way. Shine be gone. Okay, and then the last E.L.F product I picked up was the E.L.F Walk-On Liner and Brow Cream in the shade Taupe Blonde. I didn't get this with the intention of using it as a brow product. I really just want to use it as a really subtle cream eyeliner. I've read really great reviews on this. Apparently it really stays in place even on oily skin in the summer. So I'm hoping it looks good and that it actually stays put on my oily skin, my oily eyelids. Alright, I'm gonna try and clip my bangs up. That's a good look. Okay, so I did a lot of research on these two primers before I picked them up, and I have found, actually I'll try and link it down below. I found a subreddit where people were talking about different ways to use these guys, and a lot of people were combining the matte primer and the poreless primer. Apparently they work pretty well together, and since I would like to be both matte and poreless, I'm going to try to do that today as well. Oh, actually, I'll show you what these guys look like out of the packaging first. I really like their sleek packaging. A lot of E.L.F packaging these days really reminds me of NARS, which I'm a fan of. So this is the Poreless Putty Primer. It's like a light pink shade. And let's see what it looks like when I put my finger into it. Ooh! So it's incredibly creamy. A little will go a very long way. So I think what I'm going to do is leave that on the back of my hand, and then I'm going to scoop up a little bit of the other one and maybe try and mix them together on the back of my hand and then apply it to my face. I wonder if that'll work. And so this guy is the matte primer. And it has a very, very similar consistency. Yeah. It's a little less creamy. So I'm just gonna mix these together on the back of my hand. And then I'm just gonna apply it with my finger and massage it in. It feels really nice and lightweight when I'm applying it. And it glides on really nicely. There's no pilling, which is really nice. I find that a lot of drugstore primers pill a lot. Woo! These go on so nicely. I'm getting kind of demonstrated. Yeah, try it out for the first time. I don't know if it's coming across on camera, but in the mirror I have here, my pores already look slightly blurred out. There's not a crazy difference yet. I think these aren't the kind of primers where you can kind of put it on bare skin and then walk out the door. It doesn't really, I mean, you could totally do that, but I find that it doesn't make a big enough difference in, you know, concealing my pores. I would still want to wear a base product over top of this, but overall it's like, it feels really nice. I don't even feel it on my skin. So the directions on the back of the box say to let it sit for 30 seconds before applying foundation or any base product, so that's what I'm gonna do. So now I'm just gonna go in with a little bit of foundation. It's summer, it's hot, it's muggy. I've been going in really, really sparingly with foundation lately, and I've been loving my Bourjois Healthy Mix anti-fatigue serum foundation. So this is just like a really, really nice lightweight foundation, and I just take the smallest amount, like the smallest amount. I'm actually wondering if I could, because of like how creamy that primer is in texture, I'm wondering if I could mix a little bit of this in with the primer and make like my own BB cream for an even lighter coverage. I might try that tomorrow. If I do try that, I will post an update on the blog and link it in the description box down below, because that might be really, really nice as well. So I'm just taking some up on my finger, and I normally just apply this where, you know, my pores and texture are the largest, and then just work it in. I'm using my MAC 170 brush. It's my favorite brush for applying foundation. So that is just like the thinnest layer of that foundation, and I only applied it like right here and around my T-zone and like the tops or the centers of my cheeks. I put a little bit under here, and I think I'm gonna leave it there because I want to see what the concealer from E.L.F. can do. It's nice. I mean, the primers haven't, like the Poreless primer, again, maybe it's because I mixed them, but it didn't really do a ton to mask my pores. It did kind of gloss over them a little bit, but you can definitely still see my skin texture, which, I mean, isn't bad. I do prefer my makeup to look a lot more natural these days. I used to be a very full coverage girl, but yes, if you're looking for a truly poreless look, I'm not sure that Poreless Putty primer is the one, although we will see how it wears throughout the day. I'm gonna try the concealer now. So now for the Hydrating Camo Concealer. This reminds me a lot of the Tarte Shape Tape, especially the really fat dough applicator it comes with. So I'm actually really excited to try this out. The directions on the packaging say to either pat it out with your finger or a sponge, and not to use a brush, so that's what we're gonna do. So I'm just gonna start small and put a few dots under my eye, and we'll see really, really like that. It's like the perfect brightness, and it is very hydrating. I find that with the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, I really like it for the coverage and how bright it can make my eye area look. But I find that it's quite drying, even on my skin, and I have like pretty oily skin. This is really nice though. It hasn't dried down yet, like I can still move it around. I can feel it. So we're gonna let it sit for a little bit. I think I'm gonna apply some to the rest of my face and see how I like it. Ooh, that's really, really nice applied with a brush as well. A MAC 170 makes any base product so nice to apply. I feel like even if you're working with kind of a mediocre product, this brush just makes it work. I've decided I'm gonna double up on the E.L.F matte blotting mist, so I'm gonna try and apply a layer now, let that sink in, and then apply a setting powder in a few minutes, and we'll see if that, yeah, how that works. And then after I'm done my makeup, I'll go in with this again. So it said to shake really, really well, which I feel like I have done. Let me just... Okay. So it's a pretty good mist. I will say though, there are some areas where it came out in like globs, but you can't see it. It doesn't leave any white spots. Some of the reviews I read said that it leaves white spots. I think the reason it did that for them is because they didn't shake it enough, because you can kind of see that before you shake it. Some of the clay kind of settles in the bottom, so it really does need a good shake. I'm gonna let that sink in and then apply my powder. Okay, so it's been about 5 minutes. So this is my skin with the primer, foundation, concealer, and then a light misting of this stuff. So for me, on my skin type, this wouldn't replace a setting powder. It really didn't do much to set my makeup, so I'm still gonna go in with my Maybelline Matte and Poreless setting powder. This is in the shade 100 Translucent. Okay, powder is on. I'm gonna go in again with a light misting of this stuff. Ooh, maybe that wasn't so light. I'm gonna let that sink in and then finish up the rest of my makeup. And then I'm gonna do a check-in at the end of the day. So it is 12:39. And yeah, I'll probably check in around 5 or 6 p.m. and we'll see how well these products have done at keeping me matte and poreless. We'll see. I was just about to finish up my makeup. I already did my brows really lightly with my NYX micro brow pencil in taupe, I think. Yep. But I totally forgot I wanted to try this, what are you actually called? The lock-on liner and brow cream. So this is in the shade taupe. I'm just gonna take a little bit of that off on the back of my hand. That's kind of the true color of it. And then I really like I'm just looking for like some really subtle definition, so I'm just gonna kind of smudge it into my lash line and then maybe blur it out with my finger. We'll see how it applies. So I'm not sure if you can see that. It's like really, really subtle. But I like it. It does just like the tiniest amount. I'm a fan. Okay guys, so that is my makeup done. Actually, I should probably fix my hair. Okay, so that is the finished look. I will list everything I used to finish up my face in the description box down below, so you can check that out if you're interested in knowing the blush or the lip color or the mascara. It's a new drugstore mascara that I've been trying out and loving. And it's like $3 Canadian, so score. But yeah, other than that, I'm gonna go work a little bit, enjoy the rest of my day. It's stunning outside, so I'm gonna go for a walk, and then I will do 1 or 2 check-ins throughout the day to show you guys how it's wearing. But actually, now that I've powdered and set it with the E.L.F. that E.L.F. blotting mist, I find that my pores are looking very, very smooth around my T-zone especially, so I'm pretty happy with that. For now, we'll see how it wears throughout the day. I will say that it hasn't done much for my fine lines, like this guy right here or this guy right here, but you know, I can only expect so much. So if it does well with my pores, at least I'll be really, really happy. So yeah, I will check back in with you guys a little bit later. Okay guys, it is 6 p.m. now. Well, actually it's like 6:15, so I thought I would do a check-in. If I have time and we're not out by the water, because I think we're going to go to the sailing club tonight just to like walk around by the water. They have lots of pretty trails. Anyways, that's totally beside the point. This may be my only check-in, but I wanted to show you guys what it's looking like. I haven't touched up my makeup at all, and overall I am pretty flippin' impressed. I don't know if it's the primer or the blotting mist that is doing the trick, but I'm pretty matte. Like, I really haven't, I'm a little shiny right in the crook of my nose, but other than that, like, we're looking pretty matte, and my makeup really hasn't moved. I'm really surprised my blush is still pretty much on. I put a lot on today. Because normally that's the first thing to wear off on me, and I think because I misted with that blotting mist after I applied my blush, I think that's what helped it to stay in place. So yeah, overall I'm like really, really happy with it. Really, really happy with it, especially because that foundation that I'm wearing, the Bourjois Healthy Mix Anti-Fatigue Serum Foundation, that is not at all a mattifying foundation. It's quite hydrating, and on my oily skin, normally within like the first 2 hours I can get quite oily looking, so I always need to blot just with a tissue or something, and I haven't needed to do that in the last, what, 6 hours? So I mean, granted, I've just been sitting at my desk. I did go for one neighborhood walk, and it is hot out today, but yeah, nothing budged. So I don't know, I'm like really impressed. I'm really, really pleased. All these products get a big thumbs up from me, I think. But yeah guys, that is it. That is all from me for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys have tried any of these newer E.L.F. products, let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. So give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe if you want to keep hanging out, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys!